Hello, my fabulous Aries. I am so excited to be with you today. I was actually going to do another zodiac reading, and I was just so called to your reading, and I'm like, nope, do Aries, do Aries. And I am so glad I did, because when I was doing my meditation on your sign, and I was doing a prayer, and I did prayers over the cards, and I started shuffling your cards, and what came out was a story. And I kind of got excited by that because I definitely think that what came through is important for some of you to hear. You know, it's a general reading, so some of you may be like, oh, it doesn't resonate at all. I do get it. That's why you have more specific readings. But this is a general overall reading, and there was definitely a story that came across for you guys. So before we get to it, I want to talk really quick energetically wise about the astrology this month. Welcome to Virgo season, first of all. Second, there's a lot going on in September, a whole lot. I will put a list of all the stuff that's going on, and that's just like a partial list. I'm not even going through transits and other stuff that's going on, but the big ones that are going on through the month of September. The two things that I want you to be conscious of is that, one, Saturn in Capricorn is going direct, and he is in his home sign, so he's got all his full strength back. He's moving forward again. If you have Capricorn in your chart, it may affect you more than others, but it'll affect everyone in the fact that he is going to be back on being the taskmaster. That's what he's called. Saturn is the taskmaster, and he's the father of the zodiac. So he's like your dad, you know, in a way, right? Get on it. So if you've been slacking off on eating bad things, your diet or your workout or any other thing that's going on in life, maybe you've been too much on social media or any of those other distractions, he's going to get you, the energy is going to be back on task. He's going to want you to get back on task. If you're not getting back on task, it will be painful. No, it will be painful. That's the thing. He wants you to get back on task. He wants you to move forward and be disciplined and structured, because with that comes freedom and fun. He's not fun, but what he's doing is going to, if you have this foundation, you can have more fun. Does that make sense? I hope so. So be aware of that. And for you, Aries, since you're a cardinal sign, you're fire, it's not hard for you guys to be focused, right? It's not hard. But if those that are not feeling focused, this could help you. He's a grounding earth energy. So something to be aware of. Also to be aware of, 3 days later on the 21st, Neptune in Pisces, which is his home sign, and Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is his home sign, oppose each other. Why does this matter? Well, these two big boys, as I call them, are brothers, if you ever read up on mythology. And since they're brothers, they're of equal power, right? Neptune rules the oceans and the sea, and Jupiter rules the material plane and the earth, right? Each one has their own thing. They're both in their home signs. They're both exalted in those home signs. They feel in their full power, and they're both opposing each other, right? You know, Mexican standoff. So you may be feeling that energy. You may be feeling a little more contentious. You may be feeling a little more tension. Are you picking fights? It's not saying that could happen. I mean, it's not saying that will happen. It's saying it could happen. It's that kind of energy that's going on that you want to be aware of this month. And those are there's some other things, you know, and again, depending on the placement of your charts, maybe I should do astrology for each sign. Let me know in the comments. By the way, would love to hear from you guys, you know. Hit the subscribe, give me a comment, nothing that I can't control, you know, comment would not be helpful, like, hey, you're ugly. Okay, can't do anything about that. God made me that way. But if you have something that you want to share that's helpful, would love to hear from you guys. Okay, on to your reading. So, like I said, I started pulling cards, and I got so excited for you guys, and not like I don't know why, but it was just that for me, a message became very, very clear for you guys this month. And the first two cards that popped out, I thought were so interesting. So interesting. So the first card that popped out was the Fool. Okay? And then the one that came out right after it was the Hangman. This is the same guy. This is you. It's totally what I got intuitive. I'm like, boom, this is you. You started off on a journey. You took a risk. There has been sacrifice. There has been delay. There has been stagnation. This is you right now, right? You started off on this, all hopeful and full of life, and let's take a risk and let's take a leap of faith. And now this is where you are, right? Delay, stagnation, you've made sacrifice. You may even feel like you should be going through, because some of the other cards support this, is spiritual journey. It's felt more spiritual than maybe material, right? You getting or doing your business or your job, the trials and the tribulations that you had in it lately have felt more like a spiritual growth than maybe a career growth, possibly, even maybe in relationships. But right now, you guys are definitely feeling super stagnant, right? And part of this can be Aries, right? When you are Aries, when Aries is in its clarity, right? When Aries is in its full power, and when Aries is in alignment, Aries is unstoppable. You're cardinal fire, man, right? You're the ram. There is no obstacle that you cannot bust through. Now, when Aries is in shadow, right? When Aries is not in alignment, Aries is very bullheaded, although you're not the bull sign. You know, you're a ram. You dig in, you get in your own way, right? And you can't see the forest through the trees. That's what this is about, right? Not only is this stagnation, the one thing I do love about the Hanged Man is he's hanging upside down. So see the Fool, and this is what I loved about this. You have the Fool, he's upright, he's leaping out, there's nothing underneath him, he's dancing on faith, on magic, right? Taking it purely. And the Hanged Man is hanging upside down. And this one he has chains, right? And in the other, in the Rider-Waite deck, his leg is making a 4. You can see it slightly here, he's making a 4. He has a foundation, right? To me, 4 is a foundation number. So there's a foundation there. He's just hanging upside down. So you're not on dancing on air anymore. There is a foundation, even though it seems like there's not. You do have one. So there's that. But what I love about the Hangman is it's asking you, the universe is asking you to look at things differently, right? Hang upside down. The world seems completely different, right? Have you ever crawled on the ground? Like a friend of mine did this. They were having a baby. So she's like, oh, before we had a baby and we had a toddler in the house, she got down on all fours and crawled around. Because the world looks completely different from, 5 to 6 feet higher up versus being a foot off the ground crawling around. Looks different. It's about getting a different perspective. And right now, you're not totally in alignment with your perspective, right? You need to see things differently. For whatever reason, I'm sensing you're in your own way a little bit. And what I think that's about is the other cards that popped up which I thought was fascinating, because you're all fire, is the King of Cups. And so it came up right afterwards. And what this is saying to me is that you need to be Lord of your own heart. And for whatever reason, there's just you're not stopping, or this is the time why you're in the Hanged Man, is to stop and love yourself, to stop and get the connection. You're just steamrolling over connection, right? You're steamrolling over people. You're not seeing, wow, this is coming through. You can do this sometimes as Aries, right? Fire burns super hot and intense for a while. And when you do that sometimes, you can just consume everything and not realize who your flames are touching. Does that make sense, right? You may be burning and hurting people you don't even realize. And what the King of Cups is telling me is that, you know what? You're a cardinal sign, and you can master your fire, and you can master your love. You can be the master of love as well. You don't have to be just career, right? You can be the master of love. So this is saying to me, something in your stagnation, I'm channeling is more career and spiritual-wise, but there's also something love-wise going on with you. And I have always noticed with Aries that when Aries are out of alignment, it's usually because they're not giving into their human side. You know, you're just burning, burning, burning career ambition, me. And you're not stopping and going, I care about this other person. I need to be more empathetic to this other person. How are they feeling? How do they feel when I do that? That's hard for Aries. But that's what this is saying. This is why you're stuck a little bit. I really feel that. That's why you're stuck a little bit. And if you're feeling stuck, then you need to take a step back and go, how am I loving people? How, and not just like the people you love, but even loving people at work, right? You gotta love people at work. Even if they piss you off, send them love instead. Instead of sending them your hate, send them love instead. People pick up on that. I had something recently happen with my mother. There are times that my mother just like, right, like, I don't know what happens. You know, you're just like, oh, Mom. And our relationship started getting a little contentious because I wanted something different than what she was doing. You know, I wanted her to see something different. I thought she was selling herself short. I found myself getting a little angry with her because I just felt like she was selling herself short and wasn't using herself to her full potential. And I found myself just getting a little angry about it. And then I started to notice, I'm like, it's coming out when we're visiting her. I'm visiting her, if that makes sense. Or we have visits and it's there. And she started acting different to me, you know? She started being a little bit more distant from me. And when I recognized it, I knocked that shit off and said, okay, you know what? That's my issue. And I'm not loving and respecting her for where she is. So I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm just, every moment that I'm with my mother, I'm going to love and respect where she is. And I am just going to love her so much. The difference in our relationship has just been night and day. Night and day. The little things she used to do are not irritating me as much because I am just enjoying and savoring every moment I am with her. This happens with you, Aries. I know you're another cardinal sign. I'm a cardinal sign. You can be a little too judgmental, which is where the Temperance card then comes up. And it's not judgmental. Well, actually, yeah, okay, I lied because here comes the Judgment card. Okay? You can make really snap decisions and really quick decisions and cut people off and be really severe, and you usually regret it later. You've got to stop doing that. Does that make sense? In every aspect of your life. You have to stop. You know? And this is where you're getting in your own way a little bit. You know, Temperance is telling you it's hot, cold. Do you know what? Sorry, I know so many Aries like this. Hot, cold. You're not really hot. I wouldn't even say cold because I think that's too dismissing of Aries. Like, Aries are so, I love you guys, and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just like, oh. When Aries is like on fire, you just step back and wait for the fire to burn through. And then when it's done, then they come back and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, did you get seared? I'm like, yeah, I kind of did. Or I have to go in and go, you know, you kind of seared me when you plowed through. Oh, I did. I didn't even realize. Yeah, I can do that. That is Aries. Love you guys. What this is asking you is to not to do that, because that's the beauty of Aries. It's not that. You guys burn bright. You move ahead. You forge. But this is saying, take care. Balance those two things, right? Balance your energy. Balance your love life. Balance your love life, because this is the other interesting, with your work life. You see this? This is the 10 of Wands. It's a completion card. And I think you're also, some of you may be ending a job, you're getting a promotion, selling a business. There's some kind of ending in your business that's burdened you or whatever. You're like, fuck it, forget it. I'm walking out. I'm leaving this job. Screw it. That is totally going on. Or you're feeling just super burdened by your job and your work-life balance is completely out of control, right? Your work is taking over and you're not being the domain of your love life, of love. And not just love life, but love in general. how you love people, how you interact with people. This is taking over to the point where you're not doing this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your work is weighing so heavy on you that you're not stopping and seeing all the beauty and seeing the connections, because the other amazing card that came up for you is this: celebration. I love the Three of Cups, right? These beautiful women dancing. This is all about love. This is all about celebration. It's all about enjoying life. But you are stuck here and here. You're stuck with burden. You are taking burden on yourself that you do not need to take on. Let it go. Are you being the martyr? I'm feeling that for some of you. You guys are being the martyr. You're taking it all on. Well, where aren't you delegating? Where aren't you well, I can't delegate because that person doesn't do it right. Oh, well, then I guess that if they can't do it right, they're never going to learn how to do it right. Right? Well, why would they do it right if you're going to do it? There's the other one. I don't have to do it right because so-and-so always does it. So if I purposely don't do it right, then I won't have to do that at all. Because Aries will step in and get it done, because that's what Aries does. That's what cardinal signs do, right? So stop it. Stop it. Because this is telling me that you are the one taking all the burdens on yourself, no one else. Right? Right? And that's why you feel stuck here. How to feel unstuck is to balance your life this month. You've got to, sorry, these hairs are in my eyes. Your key to this month is balance. You've got to learn to balance. And I think hopefully maybe with some of that Saturn energy kicking in and you getting redisciplined. You know, I was watching, I mentioned this in Leo. I was watching this great video with Brene Brown and Russell Brand. And she talks about in there that there is a study that she did with compassionate people. And one of the things that was amazing for her is these are the most compassionate, they're super compassionate people, but they have boundaries of steel, right? So, and she mentioned another thing too, which was, I see God in you, I see love in you. I am still going to hold you accountable for what you did. And it's that. It is that, Aries. You have got to set your steel boundaries. Okay? And you're taking on too much burden. You're just taking on too much burden. You're not, I think, for me, okay, that was interesting. The boundaries are not with other people, it's actually with you. You're not setting boundaries for yourself. For yourself. In terms of love. In terms of work. Your boundaries for yourself are just like making you all out of whack. You're all out of whack. Right? You're just going from, 12 to 16 hour days at work and then 12 to 16 hour days of leisure. It's just not balanced. Does that make sense? You've got to get in balance. And because when you're in balance, there's this. There's a celebration, which could also be this. Maybe you're celebrating. I don't sense that for you. I really don't. This is not. But maybe there's some of you. I feel like more of you are just sitting on the couch and numbing out with Netflix is more what I feel. So you're either going for one extreme, you're just ridiculously working, or you're just sitting at home and numbing out with Netflix, and you're not getting out and partying and celebrating. You're not out there making the relationships and the connections that you totally can. Because this says this is king. This is that you're mastering that. So, my advice for you. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I pulled an energy card for you too, which I thought was amazing. This is energy oracle cards, and this is walking away. Which is that. It's walking away from a situation that doesn't work, a relationship that doesn't work, but it's walking, it can even be walking away. I have a feeling for you, and what I'm just now getting is walking away from habits that aren't working. So this month, don't be on Facebook. On this month, give up Twitter. Like Lent. For a month, 2 weeks, whatever. I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm not going to get I don't want to see that stuff. I'm not going to have to post a selfie. I don't have to let people know what I'm doing. Right? I'm just going to take a break and make the connections with people in person. Go out and be with those friends. I'm going to leave my phone in my purse. I'm going to turn it off when I'm whatever. Right? But this is about it. But the walking away for some of you, wow, okay, I can't. This speaks to someone specifically because this just came through. This is specifically walking away from a relationship. Some of you very well are walking away. You are taking control of your love life and you're walking away. It's not working anymore. Stop denying what's not working. Right? So this definitely speaks to some of you. If you have been hemming and hawing, right? Which in itself, if you're debating about leaving someone, then that's your answer. And that's totally your answer. You shouldn't be debating about leaving someone. You either want to stay or not. It's very simple. Right? So for someone out there, this is about walking away. This is about reclaiming your love life. Reclaiming who you are in love. Is it scary as shit? Yeah. You know? There's taking a new adventure. But some of you are here in love too. That's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, there's another story there. This speaks to someone who wants to walk away from a relationship. You're very on the fence. You're upside down, but you just need to do it. I mean, come on, people. Like, I don't need to get hard ass on you. I love you. But come on, if you're thinking about it, if you're debating about it, well, then there's your answer. What's there to debate about? I'm going to actually talk myself into staying. What is your feeling saying? What is your gut saying? You know, you just don't want to really admit it. You don't want to go through the change. Right? So, I hope that resonated for you. Please let me know. And I hope you guys have an amazing September. I think for you, it's going to be a good one. It's not as active for you as for the other signs. It's very, earth and water, very, very active right now. But it is a time for you, I think, of resetting and realigning, right? You're going to get realigned. And I just have a feeling like October is going to be amazing for you guys. So I'm excited for you guys to read next month. All right, cool. Have a great September. Love you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, and abundance.